What's up, fight fans? Welcome back for another week of Algorithm versus Experts. I'm John Batanti. That is the Josh Moody. Um, please, we're going to kick off. We're going to break down another great card for you. Last week's UFC card was fire. If you liked our content last week, we did really well. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, join us. We've had 6 out of the last 7 winning weeks in a row. Looking to make it 7 out of 8 from a gambling perspective. If you just enjoy the content, you want to talk MMA, if you're a fighter, just a fight fan, whatever level you are, and you just want to hear some inside information from me and Josh, who is a professional fighter. Also, just like, comment, subscribe. Curious to hear your thoughts. Josh, what's new with you?
What is new with me? I spent like 20 minutes today doing pad work with my son. Apparently, it's super impressive that my son hits mitts at 2 years old.
Pretty impressive.
But it's not like I had a student on Sunday, and my son charged under the mat and said "Dada do papao." So we did it for just 2 minutes. I wouldn't care. And afterwards, like, oh my god, I can't believe how many things he. How old is he? And in my head, I'm like, yeah, like we've been doing this for a year and a half. Of course he can do this. Like all he throws is left, right. We do Dutch drills though. We go right, left, kick, right, left, kick, right, left, right, kick, like the Dutch do to work our hands to feet. He throws elbows, knees. The only thing that really impresses me is when he fakes a shot and then screams takedown and takes me down. I'll be like, Birdie, throw right, and he'll go, takedown. That's impressive because I never taught him to feint. I never taught the kid to feint. He just picked that one up on his own. So good for him.
Yeah, that's cute. That's awesome. You should make a video of that. That's great.
Mostly bad, John and I are competing in 3 weeks in jiu-jitsu. Not against each other. I mean, maybe against each other. I don't know what he signed up for.
Nah.
But
if we compete against each other, something's very flawed about their bracketing and system.
You'd have to sign up for the absolute division.
Absolute, dude. I'm in decent. I'm not in that great shape, and I'm still not good at jiu-jitsu. So no.
Don't worry, man. I'm not sure if I'm good at jiu-jitsu either. I just know a lot about it.
Although my coach was like, I told him, we went over some things today. He was like, all right, I think I can ramp you up to this to probably do really well. He was like, what division did you sign up for? I'm like, well, I think they only had 3. And he's like, you're not a novice. And I was like, I don't know what the meaning. I think it was just beginner. And he said, well, there's a difference between novice and beginner. He's like, you shouldn't be novice. Like whatever their beginner is, you should go for that. And I was like, I did beginner. So but I'm excited. It's my first BJJ tournament. Not my first grappling tournament, I guess, because I've been in wrestling tournaments before, but I'm excited to hit this off at 40 years old.
All right.
Yeah, man. Moody martial arts.
I know people in their 60s that started jiu-jitsu. I know people in their 70s that got their black belts. 40 ain't nothing but a thing, homie.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, you're not the first person actually that around the gyms that have told me that. They're like, nah, dude. People start 45 and get their black belt by 52. People it's not it's a but it's all right. I'm down with the process.
Yep.
This week we got main event Tsarukyan, Mateus Gamrot. That's going to be a banger. That'll be an action-packed banger. What else? Fight card kicks off. Late card starts at 7. 12 fights. First fight of the night. We'll get into it. We got Jinyu Frey versus Vanessa Demopoulos. Only ladies fight of the night, and they're kicking it off with pretty lower level fight, but this is interesting. As if I just see that matchup, I'm like, I like Jinyu Frey to win that fight. Then I look at the odds, and I'm like, Jinyu Frey opened -300. Now she's sitting at -270, and I'm just like, how the fuck? People stop. If you follow this channel or you follow what we tell you as far as the odds disparities in MMA, Jinyu Frey is never a -300 favorite. Can she look like one? Sure, but would never go to the window and lay that price on her. Things that match up for her in this fight where that made this line ridiculous. So like I said, I'll always question until whenever, why, who, why, or when odds makers make these lines. But Jin Yu Frey does sport a 6-inch reach advantage. The problem is she's never really been known for throwing her hands in her whole career until her last fight. She finally opened up and was active. She's very passive. Um,
Very what?
Passive. She's very passive, very low activity in general. Except her last fight, she was fired against I forget who it was. But she comfortably won the first 2 rounds. She got beat up a little bit in the third round, but she was dominating the fight. Fight before that, I think she threw 21 strikes. But she fought someone Gloria DePaula, who has really low fight IQ and was able to win the fight just with a takedown and controlling top position from guard for pretty much 2 rounds. And Gloria DePaula just refused to try anything except Pomora off her back. And it was, and Jin Yu Frey got a win. So Jin Yu Frey is not a very high level. I understand she was an atomweight champion somewhere. Now she's moving up she's in a strawweight here, so she's usually the smaller fighter. In this case, she's going to be the bigger fighter because Vanessa Demopoulos is as small as they come, but she's thick. Thick legs, thick heads. She has some power. She's got 2 knockouts on her record. She knocked out 2 girls in LFA. She's never been finished, which I think does a lot to handicap this fight because Jin Yu Frey can't finish anyone either. Vanessa Demopoulos is tough. She does hang in there. JJ Aldrich beat her up recently. Took her down, held her down, beat her up, held top control. Demopoulos' game is she has no wrestling ability. She doesn't have any takedowns. She struggles to get takedowns, but she is really good off of her back, which doesn't really make sense. But she will pull hard, which is kind of a no-no in an MMA fight. I think this fight in general is just a lot of questions, a lot of red flags. Is it bettable? I'm going to say no. If you're going to bet anything, dog or pass, take a shot with Demopoulos. Maybe Jin Yu Frey goes back to her old ways and just doesn't want to throw her hands. And Demopoulos does have some activity, action, has some pop, and he comes to fight. Maybe she wins the fight. So I'm going to go with that. Actually, I think Demopoulos pulls off an upset.
Yeah, to be very frank, I don't know anything about Vanessa Demopoulos. I literally did not know her name until this week. But Jin Yu Frey I've heard of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Jin Yu Frey. And I very well might just lose this one. Right? So do not take my word for it.
I think Jin Yu Frey is she should win the fight, but as far as just for picking against Josh, I'm going to go with the underdog. And we'll see. We'll try to start the card off 1-0. I need a new pair of glasses like him. Those blue bangers. Nice. They nice.
Okay, who's our next card? Who's our next fight?
The Boom, Brian Kelleher versus Mario Bautista. I like Brian Kelleher. I love the way he fights. Little known fact, I don't know if Brian Kelleher has the most upset finishes in UFC history. He has 7 finishes as a plus 150 or underdog or better. It might be a plus 200 dog or better, and he's actually finished the fight as the underdog. So Brian Kelleher is definitely a profitable fighter in his UFC career to bet on as an underdog. He's a very small underdog in this fight. I think he's plus 130 and Bautista's minus 150. Kelleher stepped up a competition last time, right? I think he got owned, surprisingly owned by Saeed, the other Nurmagomedov.
Umar.
Not Umar, it was Saeed. Oh, it was Umar. Right. Why did I think it was Saeed? Yeah, so it was Umar who's fighting on this card. Yeah, that was an impressive performance from Umar. I didn't think he could work over Kelleher like that. Kelleher was on a good streak. But yeah. It's an interesting thing. Kelleher, great guillotine. Has a great guillotine. Um, the problem is for this fight, Mario Bautista is not really a wrestler or a wrestling base. He can wrestle, and he does have good grappling. It's very underrated. His striking, um, his striking looked really good to me his last fight. I This is a tough fight, very tough fight in my opinion. I don't think I can confidently bet. Like, I don't think I have a bet here, but um, I'm gonna go. I'll go. I'm gonna go with Brian Keller. I'll go with the more proven guy, more fights, seen a lot of competition. Mario Bautista's only had 11 fights. This will be his 12th fight. Um,
Yeah,
I'll
Kelleher had like damn near that many in the UFC.
probably, yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, he's got 14 fights in the UFC. All right, so
Yeah.
I got one question for you. Brian Kelleher has fought two personal friends of mine.
O'Day.
Oh, yeah, he beat O'Day, and then he lost to Montel.
Uh, you fought Montel?
Yep, I got the Montel Jackson hoodie on right now. Anyways, yeah, he fought Montel. Montel, I think, finished in round 1. Yeah, Montel garsed him in round 1. Do you think that Mario Bautista is a future top 15 fighter?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's young. He can get there. Sure. He could.
No, not could. Like, do you think that no ifs, ands, or buts, this dude is going to be in the top 15 one day?
No,
Then he's not going to win this fight.
but it's hard to say. He's only had 5 UFC fights, and he lost to Corey Sandhagen. No shame in that. He did beat Miles Johns.
That's true.
Knocked out by Trevin Jones. So I mean, he's 3-2. I don't know. I kind of think Brian Keller is a really tough test for him here. I think he's stepping up to prove. I don't think he should be the favorite over Keller. I think Keller is more proven. I think Keller should be the guy that's the favorite. But
Umar Nurmagomedov is a future title contender. Ricky
yes.
Simone is either currently or was in the top 15.
Oh no, he's not by now. Yeah, he for sure.
Cody Stamann used to be in the top 15. I think he was like 15th or something like that. Back when he fought Aljo. When he fought Aljamain Sterling, I believe he was ranked just where Aljo was at like 11 and 12, something like that. Right. Montel used to be ranked in the top 15. John Lineker damn near got a title shot, and Marlon Vera is currently ranked in the top 15.
John Lineker is a good veteran. He's still fighting in one, knocking people out. John Lineker John Lineker is no joke. Big power.
I think John Lineker is the champion in ONE FC.
Dude, he might be, or he held it within the last 2 years for sure. But he's still knocking dudes out. He's a really good fighter, really good career. I mean, his losses are legit. And the man just keeps getting put the underdog role. Yeah, I don't know. Something's wrong with his algorithm against this guy. I mean, I guess his age, his style, maybe that's it. Like he's going to be at a reach disadvantage. He's pretty much at a reach disadvantage every fight. He just doesn't have long arm. For a 5 foot, he's not a big guy in general, but he's a really aggressive wrestler. He's got a really good submission game. So, yeah, I mean, he comes to fight every time. So,
yeah, I definitely got Kelleher.
All right, we got Kelleher.
Like,
all right, next fight, banger. JP Days, Cody Durden. Yeah, this is gonna be a banger. Yeah, I've been calling my bangers pretty good lately. I don't think this fight sees the judges' scorecards for multiple reasons. Both guys have a wrestle-heavy approach. Buys has the submission game to back that up. Durden does not. Durden does have pretty good striking though. His striking is shown to have pop. He can hurt you. JP Bays has shown his chin is just, since his UFC fights, I think he's got 7 knockdowns in 2 fights. I think Montel knocked him down 4 times. and I think so. He did knock down. He's hard to finish though. He's very hard to finish. He looked great. Uh, he looked great with his contender series fight. Um, so they do have similar styles. Both guys in general though want to push a high pace. Both guys gas out. Both guys. JP buys 100% finish rate either way in all of his fights. He either gets finished or doesn't get finished. Cody Durden has only been finished 4 times. I've been finished 4 times, but he also finds finishes at a big percentage of his fight. I don't. I think this fight does not go the distance. I love the price on that. As soon as you can find it, bet it. It's gonna be about minus 150. Bet it under 2.5 rounds. You can get it at plus money. I think that's the best bet here. As far as picking a fight, JP Buys he dealt with a lot of shit. He was married to another UFC fighter. She was having an affair with one of their coaches, and then he found out about it. Fucking mess. And then the guy's head is.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I knew they got divorced. I mean, she's the only reason he's in the UFC.
I don't know.
So
He looked a lot. He looked good on Contender Series. He looked great. He
yeah,
here.
but why did he get that Contender Series shot?
I mean, he got it before her. They started dating, but
No. They were married. The only reason that they marketed them as a package, they brought them into the UFC as a package.
Okay.
Because she was attractive.
She is.
And that would be the first husband and, to my knowledge, the first husband and wife ever in the UFC.
Yeah, there's couples, but I don't know if anyone actually is like married.
Like I think Maheta got married to Yannick.
Yeah, they're married. Tim Elliott, his wife, is in the UFC, but I don't know if maybe they're not wife. I don't know what maybe they're just like a couple.
But like it was a husband and wife coming into making their UFC debuts on the same card. 100%. JP is here for his ex-wife, and now he's got to just keep his spot. And he hasn't looked good in the UFC. I did not see his Contender Series fight, if I'm being honest. But like he didn't look good in his Bruno Silva fight, and he didn't look good when Montel beat him up. I was impressed that Montel didn't finish him.
Right.
But so even though I have also not been impressed by Cody Durden, like I know you were super high on Cody Durden before that Mokaev fight.
No, I just picked him as I liked him as an underdog. I'm not super high on him. I think I had him as fight before that against Agari Keelang, and I thought he would do. He wasn't that big of an underdog, but he looked. I mean, I was wrong. He got beat real easy. I just thought he, as far as like a value play, but Cody Durden, but he's definitely more experienced than Bays. Bays looked the civil fight. He rushed everything. He gassed out way too much too early. I think those guys are good strikers. Bruno Silva has finishes. Montel Jackson has a lot of good finishes. I don't know. I think Bays,
don't let his ego get too big.
I mean, he does. He's good for. I mean, for this weight class. I mean, he's got some tools that are hard for a young guy to come up on. I mean, this is a much better matchup for Bays because both guys are going to look to initiate grappling, and I think like for first round, Bays is a really good wrestler with a really dangerous submission game. Durden doesn't have that. Durden has also been submitted in 3 of his 4 losses. So I think it's based on the cardio issues and thing. I like Bays here, like with his head straight. Maybe it's not straight, but I think he's going to be in a much better space. And I think Bays grinds. I think he grinds out a win. I think he surprises people.
Durden.
You got it.
Durden. Yep.
Julian Paiva, Sergey Morozov. Yeah, another really close fight. Close betting line. I think people are gonna just write off Paiva just as like Sean O'Malley's bait, like shark bait chum, I guess. I mean, because he just got starched by him last time. But other than like his fights before that, I mean, he did really well. He's shown off some really good striking. BJJ black belt. Tough. Morot. Morozov, I he's got that. He's got one real. Let me see the one loss. I think he's got one real performance. It was just ugly. Let me see. It
He
was,
beat Khalid Taha,
yeah, and then the whole
and then he
Douglas
lost to
Silva
Silva
game.
Andrade
Right.
and Umar Nurmagomedov, which
Yeah,
like Douglas Silva de Andrade is fucking 28-4. Like that's okay, no big deal.
it was yeah. I remember that fight. There's something he did in that fight though that I was like, oh, like a really bad mistake. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'm not gonna write home about a unanimous decision win over Khalid Taha. Yeah, Umar beat him up. That's I don't know. Yeah, Morozov dominated the first round against De Silva Andrade, and then he got choked out second round. So uh I'm gonna go with Paiva. I'm not gonna think too much about this. I don't know too much about these guys. Sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, Paiva hasn't looked great in his recent performances, right? But like, even though he beat Kyler, he didn't look great in the fight against Kyler. He just looked tough.
No, that was a question. Right, that was the questionable draw or decision. Right. I remember.
Yeah, and then Sean O'Malley kind of stunned on him, but he's been around for a minute. Like, I mean, he's been around since he was in Contender Series in 2018.
Yeah,
Um, and like he's fought names.
definitely.
Bumblebee De La Rosa is like the only dude. Yeah. So yeah, I like Paiva as well. Morozov is I mean, he's got a lot of finishes early, but he's got just as many decisions early too. So it's not. I don't know.
Mm,
And he didn't even look overwhelming in the Khalid Taha fight. Like he looked good.
no.
Um, so I got Paiva.
All right. All right. Shaylan, I always mess this up. Nurdan I forget. I'm sorry. Nurdan versus TJ Brown. You got like the longest, most impossible name to pronounce, then you get TJ Brown.
The fact that you even tried to say that name impresses me. Hats off to you.
I've heard. Thanks. I've heard
You
it
can't,
before. Where
can't.
his name sticks out to me, and then like I can't forget him because like I attach his style to his name. Like no one fights like this guy in the UFC. Like the man literally has like he's like a Greco-Roman wrestling phenom in the UFC with like zero striking ability, and he just like fights the same way every time. Like he takes you down, he's like, "No, I want to hold you here and do something." Like he's relentless, takedown. Like he's great motor. He's not the same type of guy. Like a round and a half in. As most wrestlers, it's very hard to keep that pace. Like you're really wrestle heavy. TJ Brown has shown extremely poor fight IQ. I know, in his fights and his losses.
214. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm
But
looking.
no, figure it out. He did, he was a favorite against Danny Chavez. He got worked over in that fight. Jordan Griffin, he got guillotined by Jordan Griffin. After coming in, it took him a long time to get to UFC, and he didn't have the best record, 14-6, when he got to the UFC. Then he started winning some fights. Questionable to his decision against Kai Kamaka, but that was a great fight. Great fight either way. Charles Rosa, he definitely looked great. I think that was his best performance. He put a lot of things together. He actually out-grappled Charles Rosa for a decent amount of that fight and almost subbed him. And Charles Rosa is a great grappler. So he's definitely shown some improvement. Maybe he just needs some time to adjust. Maybe he changed camps. I'm not sure, but he looked pretty good. And I think he has the things that are going to help him in this is his striking, his reach, and his grappling is backed up. He is a black belt in BJJ. He's fighting out of Glory MMA, So I think that's shown like the wrestling improvements. I think that's going to do him really well here because he's fighting a pure wrestler. So I think he should have a lot of submission opportunity at the least. If his striking doesn't do good. But yeah, Shaylan he's billed as a wrestler, lost to Josh Culibao, couldn't get him down. He's not known for his takedown defense. Sean Soriano has terrible takedown defense. He's no longer in the UFC. He didn't really start getting him down, and he won a decision on that. So, I'm not questioning. Other than that, all of his fights are in different things, different organizations. I will say he did get knocked out by Ju Rong, and his other notable fight is Alexei Olenek. He TKO'd Alexei.
That's not the same Alexei Olenek.
I was going to say, wait, that's not a heavy. Yeah, they're not heavyweight, so it's probably not the same guy. I'm going with TJ Brown here. This is TJ Brown's. Am I gonna bet him at -200? No. Will I submission or finish prop? Yes, I think that's live. But what do you got? Let me shut
up. Chinese dude has a bunch of like weird custom rules fights in his record.
Ooh, nice find. I didn't see that. I saw like WLF Wars, and it looks like MILF Wars. I didn't know what that was. I was like, is that MILF Wars? I was like, oh no, it's W. Maybe it's just my brain.
He won all those by first round submission, but I don't know. This guy's kind of that being said, I question the records that come out of China so far, right? Because when he was 24-5, he fought a guy who was 0-0.
Yeah,
all right, you armbarred a guy who's 0-0 at 2 minutes in. Like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I question. I don't know the competition. It doesn't look that great.
You said he's got a motor. Homie went for 14 takedowns against Josh Culibao. Only got 2 of them.
Right, 2 out of 14. It's terrible.
That's some Khabib shit. Khabib goes for takedowns like that. And then against Sean Soriano, he went for 8.
Yeah, but he looked. It's sloppy. Like he's like tired. Like he got some. Then he's like. Then I think the takedown. Like it took him a while to get Culibao down. He couldn't hold him down, and then like he couldn't. His takedown attempts were just no chance of finishing them. So yeah, it's not. He does have the motor for that to try, but he's not really successful. So this is a great spot for TJ Brown.
7.5 minutes of control time against Soriano, and 6 minutes against Culibao. Although he lost the one against Culibao, anyways. That's a lot of top time. Anyways, I don't think he's gonna I want to see him fight just based on the fact that you're saying he's a takedown machine, but I don't expect him to beat a James Krause product. James Krause does real well. Against Krause.
Yeah, I think that's shown in Brown's his last fight against Rosa for sure. I think I'm telling you, I think TJ Brown by finish, mainly the submission, or he could, if he starts fighting off takedowns and starts catching this guy with his reach and his punches. Yeah, I think he can finish. He can get a finish maybe, even though this guy Nurdanbieke is hard to finish. All right, moving on. We got Carlos Ulberg, Tafan, and Chukwi. Not that like what I've seen of Carlos Ulberg, really not impressed. City kickboxing guy, straight kickboxer. He was a huge favorite his first fight against Kennedy and Jekwu, and he hit shots. He's hitting Njeku with shots because Njeku just kind of plays deep, doesn't really move out of the way. He's just like, hit me, you can't stop me. And Ulberg was nailing him, and he just didn't have the power to even really, he didn't stop him. He gassed, and he ended up getting stopped. His next, Fabio Charant threw about. Ulberg had to. If he can't beat Fabio Charant, you don't belong in the UFC. He won the fight. Charant kind of threw no strike. Looked like scared to even engage. or maybe he just wasn't in the headspace to fight that night. He just wasn't there. Um, but as far as Oldberg, like I've looked at his other fights and things and tried to find like any grappling stat, and there's none. Like because it's just all kickboxing matches. Like the guy might literally have no grappling training, like or just be terrible off his back. And Chukwi is he's not impressive, but he's definitely a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's fought, he's had some UFC fights. He's a little battle tested. He's definitely athletic. He's got power. He can't fight this from range. Oldberg will definitely outpoint him if he wants to turn it into like a kickboxing match. He's going to try to clinch. He's going to try to take the fight down, and I think he's going to have a tremendous advantage. So I'm going to go and shoot for this win.
Ooh. I would love to try and pick Tefan and Chukwi because I'm not sure what Oldberg is going to do, and fuck that model. But
That's not the model.
I don't expect that Chukwi is going to be able to hit him enough. Like I don't think he'll be. Oldberg seems to operate at a really long range, although his arms are fairly short for how tall he is.
Mm.
They actually have the same exact reach, and Oldberg has a 4-inch height advantage. That being said, Nchukwi doesn't get takedowns. He has like 6 attempted takedowns in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights in the UFC.
Yeah.
Yep. Something like that. And he got 3 of them. Yeah, 0 for 2, 1 for 2.
Yeah, his takedown defense is much better than his takedown offense. He was stuck with Alzamat.
He's got a high-ass work rate, though. Damn.
He was winning that fight for sure. He was up 2 rounds to none, and he got caught with a flying knee and knocked out, or else he would have been 3-1 under the UFC banner. He did take down Jun Yong Park, which was hard to guy takedown, and he did a dug deep. He took down William Knight and finished him in a CFFC match.
This is going to be a super fast-paced fight.
Right. You might be right. And that was Oldberg gassed bad against Njeku and got finished in the second round.
Carlos Oldberg has the most strikes landed per minute I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, when you're landing against Fabio Chiron, he's not throwing back, and you're just like poof, 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 like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Yeah, it's not hard.
He only landed 66 strikes in that fight. That fight, he actually like really, really held back. His work rate was way lower in that one. But the Nchukwi fight is where he landed a whole shit ton and then gassed himself out. There in the Chiron fight,
he did gas himself out. Yeah, sure.
But 8.7 strikes landed per minute and 4 absorbed. That's redonkulous. Like I looked at Tefan's and it was high at 6 and almost 4. Yeah.
I still like Tefan. I think I like Tefan even more now, because Oldberg doesn't have power. Oldberg doesn't show he has power in his shots. Like if he doesn't catch you with a head kick or something, and Nchukwi has power. So if he's going to trade with Nchukwi, I like Nchukwi there to land the bigger blows. And then he's got a path to victory if he's going to try to get this down. We'll see. But here we go. I can't wait to hear you about this guy. All right, Chris Gertis versus Rodolfo Vieira. What? I'm stunned. Let me shut up right now. Stop. You. Wow.
Don't ruin it for the people.
You. Wow. All right.
Ruin it for the people.
So the Action Man Curtis, last seen pulling off a giant upset of Brandon Allen as a huge underdog. Chris Curtis has been written off his last 2 fights. Brandon Allen, and then he won against Action Man Chris Curtis, baby, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Phil Hawes at the counter left, knocked him the fuck out. That's right. That's it. That was the thing. He's losing that first round, and then he knocks out Phil Hawes. Brendan Allen fight, he was winning that whole fight, though. I don't want to hear anything from anybody. He won the first round on every judge's scorecard, and he beat Brendan Allen in the second round as well, and he finished him. Brendan Allen, that fight, refused to try to take it to the mat, and he got finished. That being said, Rodolfo Vieira, I am highly unimpressed with this guy as soon as he gets to the UFC. I mean, I feel like
Highly unimpressed with him multiple
unimpressed
times.
with his MMA. Since he's been, yeah, I mean, is Fluffy Hernandez finished him round 2. He gassed himself a little bit. He did get some takedowns against Fluffy. He did, which he did better in the takedown department than I thought. I don't know how good. I can't think offhand of how good Fluffy's takedown defense is. He was then another huge favorite against Dustin Stoltzfus, and he was definitely losing that fucking fight going to the third round. Dustin Stoltzfus just has a knack for getting choked out when he's ahead on scorecards, and that's exactly what he did in the third round. So now we're going to Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis is actually a small favorite starting this fight. I don't agree with that because I've seen some Chris Curtis grappling from what I could find or dig up, and it looks like he gives his back away way too easy, whether standing or on the ground. I don't know if he's fixed that, but that's not going to work here.
That is a problem.
Vieira's, yeah. I mean, no one's tried to take Chris Curtis down either. Definitely not the last 2 fights. The Phil Hawes fight, Brendan Allen. Where else was it? Then he's in other organizations. But I did see. I think one of the Magomed, his PFL fights. He was taken down rather easily, and you can see that. So Vieira's definitely got way more skills if he gets your back than that fight, than his opponent in that fight, though. With that being said, Rodolfo Vieira is very muscular. He's a powerhouse. He can definitely just pick you up and slam you. I think he's got a round of that round and a half because he's facing a big reach disadvantage. But I don't think he needs many takedowns. I think he's live here to win this fight. So I think Vieira wins this fight. I think he wins it by submission. I think Vieira round 1 prop is live as well.
If there's a prop and that's like a good number, that's actually a really smart bet. That being said, I'm not picking Vieira.
Gotcha.
Do you know why Rodolfo Vieira is an MMA fighter?
Because there was no money in him with jiu-jitsu. I don't know.
He's no longer allowed to compete in jiu-jitsu.
Is it why? Well, the obvious thing is steroids because the man looks like a bodybuilder.
He kept getting popped.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't.
He kept getting popped in jiu-jitsu, and they're like, we can't have it. So there's like a soft ban on him.
I see.
Like they didn't make any announcements because he's a world champion.
Right.
But like right after he won his world titles, he kept popping for steroids.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to judge him on that because a lot of people I see grappling, honestly, like I can tell they're on steroids. Like I've used steroids in the past. I'll admit it. Like I can tell. Like I mean, they're definitely on some stuff. So if everyone's doing it, you kind of have to compete in a sense. But yeah, I'm just not like overall his MMA game. He did do better than I thought though with getting takedowns. I don't know.
He does have better takedowns than I was expecting. I mean, he was the top game guy in jiu-jitsu as well. He wasn't a butt scooter.
I was good. What's a butt scooter?
What's a butt scooter?
What the hell is that? Yeah, I never heard of that.
Oh, I sit down, and now I scoot towards you on my butt.
Okay.
A guard puller, someone who pulls guard and then doesn't ever stand back up if there's too much space. They just scoot. He's not a butt scooter.
All right, I got you.
No, that wasn't the
I was gonna question like how good his grappling is because I saw he lost to the same guy twice. Like,
yeah, but that guy is like that dude's like a 19-year-old phenom.
Oh no, I know. Yeah.
The guy that he lost to twice, Cannon Duarte.
Marcus Duarte lost to. He did beat Bernardo Faria. Who's good? Oh my God, we're going back to 2014 though. He lost to Marcus
Yeah, yeah.
decision.
But like, dude, no. He beat Felipe Pena. Felipe Pena is one of two guys to have ever beaten Gordon Ryan, beating Bernardo Faria. Bernardo Faria just went into the IBJJF Hall of Fame, losing
Yeah,
to Buchecha. Buchecha, if he wasn't also banned, would be one of the greatest of all time in IBJJF. Lucas Leche is a goat. Braulio Estima is a goat. Sanjay Ribeiro is a goat. He beat Bernardo 3 times. His jiu-jitsu is next fucking level.
yeah.
Like there's black belts and then there's black belts. And
Like you,
he's uncommon among that second group.
right?
Right?
No,
Like,
I agree with all that. I think the question is that doesn't just that discipline alone. It doesn't translate into you getting into the top 15 in the UFC and you dominating fights in the UFC. Like
yeah,
you need some
his style.
takedown. His striking looked improved. It did look improved his last fight. He landed strikes. He threw strikes. I don't know if he has any striking experience or how long it is, but
It
um,
actually looks pretty good. It looks better than I was expecting it
yeah,
to.
I think he's got around here based on Chris Curtis's, what I've seen of his takedown. He's got. I mean, he can. I think the line on this fight's where it should be. I think they got this one dead right. Chris Curtis has. If he fends off takedowns, he's going to win this fight.
Yeah.
Um,
He's got
but
almost 40 fights, dude. I don't think he's going to get him to the cage, and I don't think he can take him out in open space.
no, he might not be able to. But we will
That's
see.
what it is. I think Chris Curtis is too crafty for Vieira to pin him against the cage reliably, and I don't think that Chris Curtis, and I don't think he's going to take down Chris Curtis in open space.
Okay, yeah, that's very possible. We'll see.
Sounds. Anyways,
Main card: Nate Manis, Umar Nurmagomedov. I guess Umar, as much as a thing of a young phenom as coming up, he had about what 2 year and a half, 2 year layoff, and now he's just winning fights impressively. Last seen choking out Brian Kelleher quickly, round one submission as a huge favorite. He opened up about minus 500 in this fight. Now he's like minus 1200, which is fucking ridiculous. But I mean, I don't know if Nate Manis' style can really do anything here to knock out this hype train. Hasn't done too much wrong. His overall record, Nate Manis, like 14-1. But if you're a fight fan, you've seen his last two fights, like questionable decision over Johnny Munoz. Luke Sanders fight. Luke Sanders was doing everything right until he did everything wrong to lose that fight. Round one of the Tony Gravely fight. Tony Gravely finished his ass. Like he looked like he was finished. And when the ref went to look at him, like after round one, and make sure see if he wasn't choked out, like he did just enough to like show like he's confident. And then he ends up knocking Tony Gravely the fuck out. Like he completely turns it around, and for whatever reason, maybe Tony Gravely thought the fight was over, and just he went whatever. But I mean, other than that, I mean, he hasn't. So for his record, he hasn't done too much wrong. He wins fights, and he wins them by finish. And he's undefeated in the UFC. But I don't know. He's stepping up against Umar's pretty much. I don't think he's not. I don't think he's a grappler first and foremost. I think he's more of a stand-up kickboxer with excellent grappling skills. But his last fight, it looked like he was just a grappler because he caught a guillotine. He caught Kelleher in a guillotine and he finished it.
Yeah, his kicks were the best part of his game. He's a kick first striker.
Yeah, I don't know how this matches. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, we're gonna pick Umar, but what you think? Manis has a path to victory here?
I don't actually know that much about Manis, except like I looked into him because he beat both Tony Gravely and Johnny Munoz, and he looks pretty good, but he didn't make sense to me. Like when I was watching those fights, I wasn't like, oh, this dude's got to win this fight. But like he did well on the ground. Johnny Munoz Jr. is supposed to be some sort of world champion, probably like a blue belt world champion or something like that. It might be something more legit than that. But like he's not a blue belt world champion, and anything less than that, like you should just be the belt above. So, but he's supposed to be really good at jiu-jitsu. Uh,
He's very good at jiu-jitsu.
and Nate Monet did well in that fight. I remember that getting to the ground a little bit. I It was only like a week ago, and somehow I already don't remember the Tony Gravely fight. I mean, it didn't happen a week ago, but I watched that fight a week ago because
Maybe because
the
Tony Gravely fought recently, so maybe you're thinking of that.
yeah, that's why I watched both of them fight Nate Monet 2 weeks ago, and I already can't remember the Tony Gravely fight.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that Nate Monet is supposed to be pretty good on the ground, and like I got respect for Tony Gravely, Johnny Munoz Jr., and I'm a big fan of Cool Hand Luke. Uh, so good luck against the next coming of Nurmagomedov. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Umar looks really, really good. Umar
Yeah,
looks.
maybe I think Nate. I mean, I think if Nate can survive and somehow try to find, maybe he can try to turn the tide of the fight, or maybe he can just survive 3 rounds and not get destroyed. I think that's a win here, but we'll see. Maybe that's why they do the fights. All right, Thiago Moises versus Christos the Spartan Gallegos.
Yagos.
Yagos. Yago. So Yago. He let me down with his last performance. I was one of the guys saying, man, I think, I think he can do something in this fight against Armin
Mr.
Tsarukyan.
Tsarukyan.
I thought he could
Get
do
the fuck
something.
out
I,
of here.
I was one of those
Get
assholes,
the
and
fuck out of here.
I was. I mean, he can grapple. I was like, he can do something here. I thought he could do something. So he didn't have a good performance. He got worked over. Okay, whatever. I live with it. Um, Now he's going to fight Thiago Moises, who I think I'm less impressed with. I know he somehow went the distance with Makachev, um, and then he got knocked out last time he fought. Uh, yeah, Joel, as a big favorite, Joel Alvarez knocked him out. I mean, I'm just not. He's losing the fight for sure against Michael Johnson. And then, of course, Michael Johnson did what he does, and he somehow gets locked. He gets submitted. Yeah, he wanted decision is Bobby Green. Okay, good win. I don't know. I kind of I'm falling into this Yagos trap again. Yagos is only 3 losses the past 5 years. Oliveira, Drakkar Klose, and Tsarukyan. That's pretty good. Um, he every other than that. I mean, I think he can. I think he can win this fight. I don't. I just think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be in it. I think his grappling is going to do good. I think his striking. I think his striking is going to be okay here. I think he's going to compete well in this fight. Like Thiago Moises just doesn't do. He doesn't do anything for me. Like to be a minus 250 favorite. Like what does he do? Does he wrestle? Does he strike? Like what's he do so well?
He does. He does everything really well.
Okay, he
And
might. But
everywhere. No matter what's happening, homeboy's dangerous.
if I go back on his last 6 fights, I mean to me he's lost 4 out of 6 of them. Because Michael Johnson was kicking his ass until Michael Johnson made a bonehead move.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know.
He lost to two absolute hammers. Like Joel Alvarez is going to be a top 15 dude, even though he just lost to Arman Tsarukyan. No big deal. Arman Tsarukyan is going to fight for a title.
Yep.
Islam Makhachev is going to be a champion of the world. Alexander Hernandez, okay, beating Hernandez, cool, good for you. Beating Bobby Green. Bobby Green's battle tested as they come. Beating Bobby Green.
Yeah, I don't remember that fight. Bobby Green. But
he was losing on the feet to Michael Johnson, but he was super dangerous on the floor against Michael Johnson. And then, but honestly, man, who gets straight ankle locked in MMA? That's fucking weird.
It's just like mental. Like things get in your head, and like Michael Johnson, just when it comes to grappling, like he's never been the same after the Khabib fight, in my opinion. He's just, he's still fighting though. He looked good last time, and he got back in there, got knocked out and stuff. But yeah, he's made so many blunders, and they're usually like grappling blade blunders. I don't know, like that. Maybe I don't know. something just there. Like he just,
His other UFC losses don't bother me at all. Like losing to Beneil Dariush and Demir Ismagulov, like, yeah, okay, whatever.
mhm.
Dude, Thiago Moises is a fucking bad man. And he's good at everything.
All right.
He's just dangerous all the time.
Yeah.
But I've heard a lot about Christos Thiagos and don't really know about him. But like as soon as this is his second time to the UFC. That's why I know who he is. Got you. In his first trip to the UFC, he lost to Chris Wade, Gilbert Burns. Chris Wade and Gilbert Burns. And then when he was out of the UFC, he lost to Josh Emmett.
Mm.
But like, I don't know. This dude's fought a lot of people. He's fought a lot of people. Like people with names. But he's never done anything to catch my attention. He's been in the UFC for how long? He's been back in the UFC since 2018 for 4 years. And before that, he was in the UFC for 1, 2, 3 fights. So he's had like 10 UFC fights and not caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
Thiago Moises.
All right. Josh Parisian and Alan Baldo.
I don't know who either of them are at all.
Alan Baldo, I've seen 2 of his fights. He had a really good round 1 2 fights ago as an underdog. He won the fight, and then he gassed, and he ended up getting knocked out. He had a really good scrap with Parker Porter last fight. He lost the fight, but he did win a round in that fight too. He trains out of the MMA Factory in Paris.
The only gym in France. I mean, one of 2 gyms in
I don't
France.
know Josh Parisian. I don't know much about him. Like I don't. I know he's definitely heavy-handed and he's a big boy. Like there's heavyweights and like, this guy's a heavyweight. He tips the scales. Who did he? What did I remember this? Oh, that's right. He was a big. Montel Mays beat him up. Yeah, we're okay. I gotta go, Alan. I gotta go Bordeaux just because I've seen that he can. He has a decent game. I mean, I don't. I'll see. I'm going with Bordeaux. I don't know much about this fight.
Both of them have not looked good in the UFC.
Nor do I know why this fight is on a main card.
Oh, I know why it's on a main card because they're heavyweights.
They are.
Seriously, casuals love heavyweights. And then you have my wife who just won't watch a heavyweight fight. Seriously, when heavyweights come on, she gets up and leaves. Just because they're not worth her time. And my wife fucking knows fighting. She just won't watch heavyweights fight. Those are too slow and boring.
Right, I'm gonna go.
I love seeing giants fight each other and have no idea that those fights turn out boring. I guess I'm gonna go with Parisian just because you picked Bordeaux.
It's a toss-up fight.
I think Bordeaux is gonna win, but he spelled samurai wrong, so fuck him.
All right. Co-main. The Haitian sensation, Neil Magny against the Phenom, Shavkat Rakhmonov. I wasn't impressed with Rakhmonov until his last fight. That guy is wise beyond his years, and he's a dangerous human being. Neil Magny has the second longest reach, I think, in MMA history behind John Jones. It's something insane. It's like 82 inches. Something ridiculous.
Magny. It is pretty long, but John Jones was tied with Skyscraper, Stefan Struve, and also Francis has an 83.
Oh, wow. All right. Nice.
Yeah, you want to hear something real dumb?
Yeah.
Montel Jackson has the same size hands as Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, that's why he knocked everybody down. It's hand size, hand size. I don't care about your reach, your hand size, your shoulders, your thing.
Yep.
You got power, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, Neil. I mean, the thing about Neil Magny, like I like Neil Magny's like I like watching him fight, but I don't know if he does anything special that he's going to upset this guy. Whenever Neil Magny's looking to turn that corner or fight a bigger, like a big name fighter, he just doesn't win. Doesn't win, and he's got to finish. He's been subbed for as good as a grappler as he's billed as, and he is. I'm sure he's a black belt or brown belt. He's got a lot of decent amount of submission losses throughout his career.
You're yo, wait. I gotta make a correction there. He doesn't lose to big name fighters. He loses to world class jiu-jitsu practitioners.
Okay, and like wrestlers,
He doesn't
yeah,
even necessarily lose to good wrestlers. Right? It's about being able to take him down and then being able to mow through his defenses. Right? Like only two guys have outstruck him. Lorenz Larkin outstruck him, and the Pons, Santiago Ponzinibbio outstruck him. Right?
Got him. Yeah.
Michael Chiesa, world class grappler, didn't finish him.
No, he just owned him. Yeah, he just owned him. He just wrestled. Yeah, wrestled him. Yeah, a lot.
Rafael dos Anjos, like RDA, mowed through him.
Yeah.
Damian Maia mowed through him.
Right.
Sergio Moraes mowed through him. Other than that, like, nah, man. He beat Kelvin Gastelum. He beat Tim Means. He beat Hector Lombard. He beat Eric Silva. Beat Johnny Hendricks, Carlos Condit, Li Jing Liang, Anthony Rocco Martin, Robbie Lawler.
Yeah. He beat Lawler. I mean, is anything telling you though that he's the guy that's gonna stop this hype train? Or I don't think this is a hype train at this point. I mean, I think Shavkat is special, and I'm not big on guys, especially when they're switching over promotions and they're big favorites. I want to see it. I want to see something first. Shavkat's got a 77-inch reach, which is pretty good. So he's not that. But the patience he showed in his last fight against Carlston Harris is good. Carlston Harris has skills. But the patience he's shown in these fights, I mean, just to wait for his finish to open up was really impressive to me. I mean, it's almost like he was a step ahead. He was a step ahead. He just knew something would be there. I don't know. I mean, oh my God, all of his fights are finishes? Every single one? Holy shit. Yeah, how about that? No one's made it to the scorecards against this guy.
Yeah.
He's definitely stepping up as well. He's stepping up. He's fighting a talented guy, a veteran. But I don't know. I feel this is spots Neil Magny this is a spot Neil Magny hasn't done well as well in his career. So I don't know.
Shavkat has strange fight history. He doesn't fight very often. Considering how often, what was that?
I picked Shavkat. I don't know.
You picked Shavkat? Yeah, I mean that's an intelligent decision. I don't think he's been taken down in the UFC.
No.
Well, I think one person took him down, but I think he reversed it. So, Michel Pereira. Oh no! He fought. That's not Pereira. That's Prazeres. That's Trapdoor. Yeah, he's made all three dudes he fought in the UFC look kind of silly. Michel Tractor did all right, but he made Cowboy Oliveira not look good. And I mean, I don't really know Carlston Harris, but he made him look pretty bad too, especially with the fucking wheel kick. His diversity of techniques is very impressive. And yet he is able to command a fight with very simple tools as well, right? So he dictates the pace of the fight with pretty simple tools and tactics. And then he throws in like flashy, really hard to deal with shit out of nowhere, like the wheel kick that he landed without no feinting. He had not thrown another one of those. He used his jab and his cross to find his distance, and he can just throw wheel kicks off that. Like, that's not normal. There was no need to use something to measure that, and you need to use a similar tool to measure it. He can just measure it and just knew where it was. So that's super impressive. His mastery of range is very impressive. He doesn't get hit, but Neil Magny pushes a stupid pace and doesn't get finished. I mean, he does. He has. But, like, not like that. Let's see. Last time he got finished was the Pons in 2018 before that layoff. Fuck, man. I want Neil Magny to do well so bad, but I feel like I have to pick Shavkat.
All right.
I gotta, yeah. I don't want to pick Shavkat, but I have to.
Do it up. We'll see. Magny, yeah, it's a big test for Magny. He does start slow sometimes. He definitely started slow against Max Griffin in his last fight, but he turned it around. Hey, we'll see. Main event: Arman Tsarukyan, Mateusz Gamrot. Yeah, I wasn't really high for this fight when they first announced it, but now I'm ready. I think it's going to be a good fight. Gamrot hasn't done much, not much not to like. His only loss was a questionable decision loss to Goram Kutuladi, who fought really well last weekend. I mean, that was a tough fight against a monster in Ismagulov. Yeah, I don't. He seems legit. KSW, big history in KSW. Knockout Scott Holtzman was impressive. Submission Jeremy Stevens not impressive. But TKO Carlos Diego Ferreira last time. Yeah. I just don't know how he. I've seen Tsarukyan like pace. I've seen his fight against Makhachev was that's the hardest Makhachev ever got pushed because Tsarukyan won a round off him. He showed amazing wrestling style, like amazing wrestling technique. He's also finished his last two fights, so that shows he's improving. This is a 5-round fight. Tsarukyan seemed like the third round against Makhachev, he was a little tired. Like you could tell he was a little tired. Like not enough to where Islam could take advantage because I guess Islam just doesn't get tired. But he just doesn't get. I guess he just doesn't get tired. He's just.
It's just not possible. It's just not a thing that they do.
Right. It seems like it. That was a great fight for grappling. This. I don't know how Gamrot would do either going 5 rounds. Against a guy like this, like Tsarukyan is definitely going to have the advantage early when he's fresh. However he wants to take the fight, he's going to be able to get takedowns if he wants. All right, so Gamrot has been 5 rounds. He's done it twice actually, but I don't think that was against a wrestler with caliber or who's improving. I got Tsarukyan. I'm not going to overthink this. I mean.
2019. So I did not know who Mateusz Gamrot was.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't even hear his name for the first time until I don't know within the last 6 months. In the last 4 months. I guess he's only been in the UFC for not even a full 2 years. But I watched him, and that dude's super, super impressive. Super impressive. Like, Gamrot is special. But the thing that makes him special is his takedown ability, and he's not going to take down Tsarukyan. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. And if he can't take down Tsarukyan, I don't believe he can win this fight. I haven't seen a lot of Tsarukyan on the feet because he has such good takedowns. And then, like you said, he's added the ability to finish people on the ground now, which is a big improvement. You have to go with Tsarukyan in this fight. Like, what's the line?
Tsarukyan's minus 300, so he's a 3-1 favorite. Gamrot's like plus 250. So I don't know. I don't have a bet here. I won't have a bet here, but yeah, I think I think Tsarukyan wins the fight.
Yeah, let's see if Gamrot has gone 5 rounds. Gamrot went 5 rounds in his final fight in 2 fights outside the UFC. No, one of them only went to the 3rd round. Got submitted by Gary Tonin. He had another fight go 5 rounds, go decision. Another fight went to the 4th round. Here's another fight. And that's round 2. Yeah, so he has 5-round experience. I don't know if Tsarukyan does. 3 rounds, 3 rounds, 3 rounds. Yeah, Gamrot's already proven that he can go 5 rounds and win decisions on the regional scene. So I don't think we need to worry about that. But I don't expect him to be able to, like, he got out-wrestled by Kuta Deladze. And, yeah, Kuta Deladze is a good wrestler, but, like, he's not wrestled first.
Okay.
Right? And he was, like, he would get in on those takedowns, and then he would get outworked once he was in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to eat my words, but it's not going to happen. Sorry, Tsarukyan.
Well, it's not Tsarukyan. All right, we got it. Here's your card, everybody. Please, if you enjoyed, we need some smash that like button, subscribe, comment. We want to hear from you. Anything. Give us some comments. 2 weeks ago, I had a lot of comments. Where are you guys at? Everybody's quiet lately.
Ooh. Next week's card is dope. Oh, shit. Next week's card is dope. Like, stupid good. I had no idea how good this card was. Anyways. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to be on this week's card and talking to you people about stuff and not being distracted. Welcome back to the party, everybody. I'm sorry I missed you. We got important things to say? I don't think so. He said the likes and the shares and stuff like that.
Yes, as always. We love you. Thank you for listening.
You know what you should really do? If you like our content, here's what I want you to do. I want you, at the next time when you're listening to this podcast in the car and you come up to a red light, I want you to roll down your window. And I want you to gesture to the car next to you. And I want you to be like, roll down that window. Roll down. And I just start yelling about us. Random strangers. Like, I don't need you to know these people. Just buy like an old school boombox, throw it on your shoulder, and walk through Times Square playing our podcast. That is what I want you to do. That is how you can spread the word, right? Yeah. Knock on your neighbor's door. Knock on your neighbor's door and tell them about algorithm versus the experts. Don't know your neighbors? It's the perfect time to meet them. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm going to keep the same grin whether I lose or win. Up or down 10, I'm going to fight to the end. Moody, 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 moody.
Nice. Up or down.